Welcome everybody, I'm Sergio Gianesini. I'm a surgeon from the University of Ferrara in Italy, dedicated to venous and lymphatic disease. This podcast is dedicated indeed to the importance of exercise in venous and lymphatic disease and the benefits of hydrotherapy. And I'd like to deeply thank Eleni Lindsay and all the Leg Club for the kind invitation. I think they gave me a title that is absolutely perfect because the title is saying the importance of exercise, the importance. Now, it's important, I think, when we are talking and reaching out to the population, like in this public also venous and lymphatic awareness initiative, to stress out the importance of proper evidence-based data before claiming something, because if not, we surely get the risk of getting into the fake news area. Indeed, the sport and physical exercise in general is like a drug. It can be beneficial or harmful based on how we practice it. Think about the word agonism of the sport, of the athletes. And in reality, inside the word agonism, you will find the word agony, meaning that if we practice a sport way too much in a wrong way, of course, we can even injure ourselves. But of course, proper physical activity is of paramount importance for proper venous return. Think about the fact that in our technical word, we usually refer to the cuff as the peripheral heart that is pushing, propelling the blood back to the heart, and together with the blood also all that lymph that is the fluid in between the cells back to indeed the main circulation. Now, it has been demonstrated that proper physical exercise is beneficial, as I was saying, in the cardiovascular system, and in particular for the venous and lymphatic system, it can surely help the drainage. But how we should do that, what we should do, and for how long, that's a different topic. We surely have to define a dose of the physical exercise and a modality of physical exercise. And first of all, we have to standardize this physical exercise to make it reproducible. In terms of venous and lymphatic drainage, a clear benefit can be found in particular in the aquatic environment, because if you really think about that, we are paying a price for the natural evolution from quadrupeds to bipeds. You're not going to have varicose veins usually on your arms, but you have them in your lower limbs. And that's because we are overwhelmed by the force of gravity. For this reason, we got particularly interested with our University of Ferrara research group in the aquatic environment, because the aquatic environment is giving you the opportunity of proper compression, meaning that every single centimeter of water is giving us a 0.7 millimeter mercury, which means that when we are standing up in a pool, for example, and we have 120 centimeter of hydrostatic column, this means that we are under 80 millimeter mercury. Now consider that when we are using graduated compression stockings, usually we are around 20. So it's like having 4 pairs of stockings with the magical effect of not even perceiving that. But even more, it's not just the physical properties of the water that actually can even increase if we are in a more dense aquatic environment, like for example, the thermal aquatic environment. But it's also the thermal properties in terms of temperature that could influence the venous return. And at the same time, also the chemical properties. Again, think about the chemical properties of a thermal environment with anti-inflammatory effects, for example. But it's very important, as I was saying, to standardize and make the activity reproducible. For this reason, back in 2017, we designed a protocol that we validated, published, and that is available in case you want to have a look at that in PubMed. And we demonstrated the potential benefit of this standardized reproducible protocol in terms of lower limb volume variations for venous lymphatic patients, as well also as the ankle range of motions improvement. Indeed, there was a significant correlation between the increase in the ankle range of movement and of motion and the venous and lymphatic return. We also demonstrated a significant improvement in the visual analog scale regarding the symptoms, while there was no significant difference in the functional ambulation classification, that is a classification dedicated to the ability of the subject to walk. Now, further investigation, we looked at the comparison between exercise inside and outside the aquatic environment. pointing out how there was significant benefit in doing the same exercise protocol inside the aquatic environment rather than outside, with a better lower limb volume reduction, a better ankle range of motion improvement, better quality of life validated scores improvement. We also performed another study pointing out the importance of bioimpedance analysis of these patients, like understanding where the fluids really are and where they are shifted to. And we demonstrated indeed a significant decrease in the extracellular water parameter. And we also demonstrated how, with the proper training inside the aquatic environment, there was an improvement of the cardiovascular performance in terms of the fitness level of the same subjects. Now, consider that there is also a major benefit in the aquatic environment, considering that you have an environment where an obese patient, thanks to the buoyancy, can more easily perform the physical exercise itself. And at the same time, there is the possibility for older people to have easier movements inside the aquatic environment compared to the dry land. In another set of investigations, we looked at the importance of the type of exercise. Because when we are talking, for example, with our patients and saying to them to go walking for 30 minutes, we really don't have data on how they should walk, for how long, how fast, should they wear compression. So long story short, we pointed out that walking, for example, with your dog is not exactly the same than walking by yourself. It's wonderful to walk with our best friends, dogs, but at the same time, they stop and go, they stop and go. They constantly, of course, stop our walking and our activation of the calf pump. Reason why it's fundamental that we also take the time to have a continuous walking of 30 minutes. We are used empirically to say at a speed for which you can talk, but you cannot sing in terms of cardiovascular engagement. But of course, you need a proper evaluation by your physicians to understand your fitness level. At that point, walking for 30 minutes will give us a benefit in terms of venous and lymphatic return, but this benefit will be surely higher if we have a proper compression on that is facilitating the lower limb volume control, and at the same time also the perceived exertion according to a validated scale that is the one of Borg, that is giving us an idea of how much the activity gave us exertion, for which graduated compression stockings can surely help in controlling perceived exertion according to this investigation of our, while in the meta-analysis we have confirmation of the use of graduated compression stockings for controlling the delayed muscle soreness onset, while for the other benefits, we should really talk in another podcast, I think, because we have indeed a different data suggesting great potential benefits, but also a great need of proper data collection in order not to get the risk of putting together apples and oranges. With this, I deeply thank once again my dear friend Eli Lindsay and all the LEG Club, and I remain at your disposal together also with the Venous and Lymphatic Ward International Network Foundation for collaborating more in public venous and lymphatic awareness, taking this chance also to invite you to visit the website and take part in the global digital and also in-person event of the vWIN Week from April 4 to 10. Thank you.